Yeah. This lecture is about health, data security, and ethics. Today, we'll dive into the security side of the data and how we protect uh, health data. Um, we will also cover the administrative rules of HIPAA and different technical methods that we use to protect the data. So we follow three basic pillars in health data sciences. First is autonomy, which is basically the individual's right to control their personal information and make informed decision based on their knowledge. And then beneficence, that we should be acting to the benefit of the patient, for example, using their data to personalize treatment plans and enhance care quality. Then there is justice, that to ensure equitable access to digital health and preventing the algorithms from being skewed, because as we know that algorithms can very easily be skewed when they are fed with biased data. So justice is also one of the three pillars. Then there are three core concepts in understanding health data security, and privacy. First, we have confidentiality. It is basically the obligation to keep the protected health information private, which is to share the data only with those people who need to know, um, and also with informed consent from the patients. Then there is data protection, uh, which is organizational and technical measures ensuring that data is processed safely and in alignment with legal standards. So it is basically to ensure that the data that is being shared is processed safely and is basically in alignment with legal standards. Then there is information security, which are basically the safeguarding systems, uh, which for encryption methods and role-based access control, which ensures that confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which is also known as the CIA triad. Okay. Uh, then we move to HIPAA. HIPAA is basically the US regulatory model. It is a trademark US law that mainly focuses on protected health information and um, applies to covered entities. Basically, it applies to providers, insurance companies, and business associates in the health data science field. Then um, the key components of HIPAA are, the first is the privacy rule, which is the standard for personal health information protection, which sets the standards for personal health information protection. And then the security rule is basically uh, the privacy rules tells us what to protect, and the security rules tells us how to protect that PHI, personal health information. So it is administrative, physical, and technical safeguards for electronic protected health information. So a security rule includes all the methods which should be all the steps that should be taken to protect the data. Then the GDPR is the basically it's the European alternative in the European Union. Its scope is that it applies to all personal data. Health is a sensitive category and for the European Union residents, and it also has extraterritorial reach. And its key principles are privacy by design, um, which is proactive protection integration basically, and data minimization, that uh, collect only the data that is necessary for research purposes and necessary for utility. And then the right to be forgotten, that if a person wants his data to be deleted, then erasure of data upon request is also a key principle. Uh, Here is basically the regulatory comparison between HIPAA, the USA model, and the European Union model. So the HIPAA only applies to health data, while the GDPR in European Union applies to all personal data. And the HIPAA, it is allowed for treatment or payment, and in the European Union, it requires lawful basis, which is basically, for example, explicit consent of the patient. And then the approach in the HIPAA is pres- prescriptive, specific security rules, uh, while on the other hand, in the European Union, it is broad mandates, which is like technical measures. Then the penalties are tiered financial penalties, and in the European Union, it is up to 20 million or 4% of the global revenue of the organization who breach these rules. So these are the breach notification timelines of compared of the HIPAA and the GDPR in USA and Europe. So then comes AI and big data ethics. So we talked about algorithmic bias and how an algorithm can be skewed against a certain um, group of people because of the biased data that is it has been fed. So um, AI may perpetuate inequalities present in training data based on race, gender, or any other measure, so leading to unequal care for a certain group or marginalized group of people. So the black box problem, deep learning lacks transparency. So the models that are being trained, they are basically black box. We don't know what's going on inside these models, how these the learning models they lack transparency. So clinicians cannot always see how a conclusion was reached. Uh, like in classical machine learning, we had the reasons. We could. It was very transparent. Clinicians could be provided with different reasons that why this specific result was chosen and how this conclusion has been reached. But the present deep learning models, they lack transparency, and so clinicians do not know how a certain conclusion was reached, thus undermining trust. uh, then the HIPAA risk management cycle is uh, first there is risk analysis, thoroughly assess potential threats like human, natural, and vulnerabilities to electronic protected health information. And there is the risk management, which implements security measures to reduce those risks to a reasonable and appropriate level. Uh, and it's an ongoing process. Yeah. Then comes the advanced technical safeguards like homomorphic encryption that allows computation on encrypted data without decrypting the data. So basically, the data is encoded, so there is very low chances of exposing the individual's information, and protecting privacy during cloud analytics, etc. So basically, the computation can be done on the encrypted data, and the utility is maximized, and as well as the privacy. And there is blockchain, which is decentralized, immutable ledger ensuring data integrity, and tamper-proof audit trials, which basically cannot be traced back to the individual. And there is differential privacy, which is basically to add mathematical noise to datasets, allowing aggregate analysis while hiding individual identities uh, that can be used to trace back to the individuals. Then there is the consent dilemma. Basically, first we have the comprehension barrier, which is complex medical and technical jargon prevents patients from understanding what they are agreeing to. So because these things are very technical for a layman to understand, so there is this comprehension barrier. They cannot comprehend each and everything of what they are agreeing to. Then there is voluntariness compromised. If digital consent is required to see a doctor, is it truly voluntary? patients often feel compelled. So there is this the voluntariness dilemma as well, and then the dynamic nature that data uses evolve. So basically, if someone consents to today to a certain uh, mm, things, then uh, it's possible that tomorrow some other possibilities or uses of these data can be emerged. So um, this dynamic nature of data use uh, creates a dilemma of how to use this consensual data. Then we have the HIPAA de-identification methods, which are basically to de-identify the medical data under HIPAA um, instructions or under their law, HIPAA law. First we have the safe harbor, the checklist method, which basically the 18 specific identifiers that are defined by HIPAA are completely removed from the data. So it's basically a simpler task, and these identifiers include names, dates, geographical locations, etc., social security numbers. So it's a simple task to completely remove these identifiers from the data, but the disadvantage is that they sometimes will miss on different uh, insights. Basically, many useful insights can be missed because these are completely removed. Then the second one is expert determination, which is an alternative statistical method. Basically, in this, an expert applies statistical and mathematical principles to clarify very small risk of re-identification. So basically, the 18 specific identifiers that are defined by the HIPAA are not removed entirely, but the statistician, they apply statistical principles, and to make sure that a very small risk of re-identification, that there is a very small risk of re-identification, thus maximizing utility as well as privacy. So that was it.